Lifestyle Buzz Today with Orlando. Fresh, innovative, entertaining talk about topics we are all in one way or another involved with. And now here's your host, Orlando Burgos.
Well, hello, my fellow Earthlings. Welcome once again to another edition of the Connection for Better Living, or as we jokingly say, the antidote for boring radio. News, I got a haircut. I tell you, man, I've always had this thing about, I don't know why, haircuts to me are like such a second thought, that type of thing. But all of a sudden, man, I let my hair grow longer than necessary. And I looked at myself one day and I said, I look like this big overgrown Q-tip. And, time to go get my hair shorn. It was weird, man. The lady went in with this number 2 or whatever it is, the shears. I looked like a sheep, man. It was just like shredding the stuff right off the side of my head, though. Anyway, I feel human. I feel good. Michael, what have you got to say about my haircut?
Your haircut looks glorious, Orlando. Yeah. Very, very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed.
You know what? It's really funny because I'm the type of guy that always goes to the same person. I sit there. They know what I want, and I let them go to work. Well, it just so happens that my regular barber closed the doors. And I'm like, oh, man, this is horrible. Yesterday, I was going to the market for something, and there's a place right there. So I figured, what the heck? Right off the bat, the lady came over, introduced me to a technician or barber, and right away she goes, oh, yeah, no, we can do this and we can do that. And I noticed a woman, and I go like, hey, she knows what she's doing. I feel comfortable, so that's it. But I've always been, I when I was in the Air Force, it was just like no hair, that's it. Anyway, does anyone actually have anything new to talk about? Well, I bet many think that even to get up in the morning is such a chore. Well, we're going to fix that today in segment 1. Segment 2, I speak a lot about living in reality. And I've been getting emails and comments of what exactly do I mean by that. Well, I'm not a one with a fortune ball or anything like that. It's just common sense. So we're going to be talking about that in segment 2, and I'm sure Mike is going to be really getting involved with that. Yeah. And then segment 3 and 4, we're going to be the big meat challenge. And I'll give you the first whack at it.
Oh, okay. All right. I accept that.
Okay, there you go. So the steak challenge coming up, and then on segment 5, we're going to be closing down by letting you know how to win some prizes and how to answer a few questions that we have, so you can. I'll tell you what we're giving away when we can get to that turn. Okay. In the meantime, let's take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, news.
Experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Every time the news comes on the television or radio or, many other shows, it's like a repeat of yesterday's stuff, okay? So in my opinion, it should not be called news anymore. It should be called olds, because everybody repeats the same thing over and over and over. I was watching the news the other day, and they were talking about Joe Biden getting COVID. I hope he recovers very well. And then the show right after that, I was watching it, and breaking news: Joe has COVID, and it went like that throughout the day. I actually recorded several of the shows to see what it was all about. And it's the same humdrum thing over and over and over. And the reason why I mentioned that in our show, although we're not a political show, is the fact that all this type of stuff changes our perspective of our lifestyle. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, especially with the... it should be noted, too, that 24-hour news is, only a thing in the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there's a lot of generations who the only time they got their news, really, their national news, was from Walter Cronkite or from, Tom Brokaw, a half hour a day.
Yeah.
And so now these... And as someone that works, in the content business, and it's got to make content 24 hours a day, I know how hard it is to fill those hours.
Yeah.
And when you're in 24-hour news network, you got to have content on 24 hours a day. And that's why you see them, just continue to regurgitate and recycle the same story day by day.
And I can understand the concept of it, because you know what? I think the way they feel about it is that, well, somebody watched the news now, but now a new crowd is going to go watch this second news. So, and so on and so forth. The fact is, though, that it used to be here in LA years and years ago was Channel 2, Channel 4, 7, 11. And like you say, it was 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then in the morning shows. Now it's like there's many, many different shows. I mean, they're all over Facebook. They're all over everywhere. And it's like you say, they keep regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over. Many people actually listen to the same thing few times, and they don't recognize it as, well, this is what they said before. I mean, they recognize, oh man, this is doomsday. I mean, it's really, this person said it, this other person said it, we're in trouble because 3 people in the news said it. And it's like, okay. But the fact is like the hammering of the same thing, the hammering of the electric cars. Well, people need to start, and we're going to go into the next segment when I talk about realism, is the fact that they're trying to sell a concept to the people of the fact that electric cars are coming. They don't mention about the fact that not everybody can afford $70,000. I mean, you're just having a new engine put in your car. Why didn't they give you a Prius instead?
New engine and transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Volkswagen Group, for still extending that warranty. Really appreciate that. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it just feels that the media is talking to such a small percentage of people. And also going back to the immediacy and the need for constant content, it's literally the other day I was watching CNN and breaking news, they had the chyron off of the breaking news. Mm-hmm. Martha Stewart's peacocks eaten by coyote. Breaking news. And I remember, just lo and behold, 10, 15 years ago, when you flipped on CNN or Fox or MSNBC and you saw breaking news, Chiron, it was going to be something important.
Something serious, yeah.
But now it's like even the most mundane thing is breaking news because they're tricksters now. They want just as many eyeballs as possible on that channel, and they use the breaking news Chiron to do that.
Well, I actually saw something the other day about the fact that, like you say, breaking news. Jennifer Lopez marries Ben. I mean, I'm like, who cares? I mean, seriously, I'm sure that there's some people that follow the stars, and it's nice. I mean, hey, we're near Hollywood and into that vibe and all that type of stuff. But there are tons. I mean, there's still a shortage of food. There's still a shortage. I mean, the gas still comes down a little bit. But
$1.42 than where it was last year.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff that actually needs realistic care. And we're not getting that. We're not getting that in the news at all. And I think people need to start, what would be the solution? Start shutting down the TV a little bit more than...
That's tough. I mean, I like the BBC a lot. I listened to the BBC a lot when I was abroad, and the BBC is a public-private partnership, and so there is government regulation over the BBC. And when you listen to the BBC World Service, it's really kind of cool because you get, at the 15 and the 30, you're going to get some headlines. But the rest of the time, it's like better NPR. It's like they have packages that they've already made. They'll do like a lot of world news. You get your cricket scores every 15 minutes too, and that I think is a good model, but I don't know if that's going to work in the United States. And we have NPR here in the United States, and as someone who has toured the NPR studios and listened to a lot of NPR and have a lot of friends that work at NPR, NPR is terrible now. Yeah, because NPR does not do, like, if you're in the car and if there is breaking news, like something actually really important, they don't cover it. Yeah, they don't cover it just because they don't have the staff to cover it. And so it's so frustrating when you look at your phone, you see like a breaking news alert that something major has happened, a world event. And when you're in the car and the only thing you flip to NPR, they're not covering it. You flip to the AM side and they're not covering it either because they're all in the can too. Yeah. And so that's what's kind of really sad about it. And most of the people I know now who are looking for news in the car, what they're doing is they have satellite radio. And you can listen to CNN's TV feed or MSNBC's TV feed or Fox for that matter through the satellite radio in the car. Yeah. And so you even can't get real news from them because, like we talked about, it's breaking news. Jennifer Lopez and what's his face got married.
NPR used to be one of my favorite stations because they were actually at one point what they're supposed to be, a reporting network, non-partial. It was just news. Boom. But then they started getting political about it, like many other outlets do. And I think that was just the beginning of the end for it.
That's a very good point. And I hear a lot of that from a lot of people. But I don't think that's NPR's issue. It's the NPR's affiliate stations problem.
You think?
Because if you listen to NPR One, which is just what's coming from NPR from Washington, D.C., it's all straight hard news. But what the KPCC, KCRW, and other stations is they only take that for All Things Considered and Morning Edition. But the rest of their programming is produced in-house, and that's when you get the very, very far-left political stuff.
Yeah. Well, right now, you know what? They're actually at war with the fact that Hunter Biden is being investigated. So now they have a disinformation part just for that alone, So anyway, cool, chill. Take the news with a grain of salt. Do your own investigating. Okay? We'll be right back.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. That's 800-846-2153.
Hi, I'm Dennis Bono. Join me every Saturday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. for the Dennis Bono Show live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. Enjoy this fun-filled hour with my celebrity friends as they perform, visit, and have lots of fun with me in front of a live audience in the showroom at the South Point Hotel. Please join me Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific, Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific, right here on CRN Radio and CRNTalk.com.
Have you heard about Vine to Bar chocolate? It's the winemaker's chocolate, the world's first chocolate made with well-vined Chardonnay marc from the beautiful coastal vineyards of North America. Gently pressed grapes are harvested after juicing, dried and finely milled and carefully blended into the finest dark chocolate. The Chardonnay marc contains highly beneficial grape nutrients, flavonols, and has a natural sweetness that flavors the luscious dark chocolate. Mouth-watering, flavorful, delectable dark chocolate goodness with Chardonnay sweetness and beneficial nutrients. And it's alcohol-free, too. It's Vine to Bar chocolate. Order some today at vinetobar.com. That's VINETOBAR.com. Cold shipped to your door, it's Vine to Bar. Vine to Bar chocolate. Visit us at vinetobar.com. Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit TikiLive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit TikiLive.com. That's TikiLive.com.
All right, we are back, and as I mentioned before, I usually use the term living in reality, and I have received emails, and people sometimes ask me, what exactly do you mean by that? I mean, everything is real, you know. Yeah. No, I think what I'm talking about, and everybody's sense of reality is different than everybody else's, you know, and people have to take into consideration their possibilities of both financial, emotional, and all of that. But I think in my language, reality means to be able to see what is happening out there, drink it in, and make up our mind as to where it fits into our structure, okay? There's people that say, well, reality is, man, we all have to stop doing this or that or the other. No more traveling, no more going to restaurants and all of that. I don't believe in any of that, because regardless of what, we cannot just destroy our standards of living in running scare. Am I making myself understood?
Yeah, what do you mean by running scared?
There's a lot of people that really have lost their optimism for what they can do. They have lost their yearning and of being able to dream and create their future. And I think that that's a very deadly thing, because even in the worst of times, there have been people that have been worse off than we are right now, and yet they find a way to create joy, love, passion for something, and move on. And in return, actually, they are able to live happy and live by their own means.
Yeah, I think you're completely onto something there. I think, I mean, imagine it's like 1936, and we're just coming out of the Depression, and you watch some of the films from that time and read some of the novels of that time, or listen to the music of that time, or listen to some of the radio from that time. It's very light and breezy, and seems like people are happy.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something with the modern American society, with consumerism and aspirational wealth, where you see, you're watching TV and you see an advertisement for a Mercedes, and you're like, well, why don't I have that?
Yeah.
And then you see, an advertisement for this great vacation, and you're like, well, why don't I go on vacations all the time? And if you want to go on a vacation, make sure to check out Lux Travel Buzz. And so I think that there's like a consumerism and a wanting of consumption through observation of others that we have today that I didn't think we had in previous generations.
I think we have become a society of voyeurs where we see, let me go back a little bit. When I was a teenager and I wanted a car, we all had to go look for a jalopy to fix. And, I mean, we used to buy things with no motors and buy a motor for $25 and go under a tree and put it in there, And we used to do all our work because we had that desire to create something for ourselves, type of thing. Today, I know some families who have young people, and they're going like, yeah, man, I'm in trouble because Junior wants a new car now that he's graduating from high school, but he wants a BMW. And I mean, they're all paranoid about the fact that if they don't get Junior a BMW, he's going to die or what? I mean, I don't understand. But the kid doesn't work. The kid doesn't do anything but play with his telephone. I mean, that type of stuff. So there's a sense of reality there that is totally missing from our society today. I mean, my dad was one that, hey, you want something? Yeah, I got a job for you. That's it, pair of shoes, shirts, whatever. I mean, up to a point, they bought my supplies. When I got into high school and I wanted something a little bit more stylish, well, I went to work at Sears.
Exactly. Yeah. It's, when I was growing up, it was the bare minimum was provided. It was food, clothing, and shelter.
Yeah.
And anything else that I wanted, I would have to work for. And I had a job, first job I got, I was 14.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of nice to have, that kind of disposable income. Because also, in the flip side, when you come home and buy something and be like, well, I bought this with my money. You can't comment on this.
Yeah, I know. It was the same. I mean, I actually used to work like a dog to get my first flying lessons. And you know what? I would be dog tired, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it's like great. So that's the thing that we're talking about, reality. Like, don't let other people tell you not to have dreams and expectations. Develop your own and work for them. You'll get them. We'll be right back.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2022. Call 1-800-455-7923 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-455-7923. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath & Shower. That's 1-800-455-7923.
Hi, everyone. Michael Horn from MyPillow.com. Head to MyPillow.com and get in on the My Slippers special. Just $49.98 with your promo code HORN. The most comfortable slippers ever. Hurry, supplies are limited. Save $90 and get My Slippers for $49.98 with the promo code HORN. Plus, buy one, get one free pillows, and buy one towel set, get a second towel set free. Towels that really work. Save $90 on My Slippers, just $49.98, and get in on the buy one, get one free towel sets and pillows. Go to MyPillow.com and enter the promo code HORN. That's MyPillow.com, promo code HORN, or call 800-889-6959. 800-889-6959. That's 800-889-6959.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. 800-846-2153. That's 800-846-2153.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master plan destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
All right, welcome back to Lifestyle Buzz with Orly at the super mighty CRN station, where we have programming for every listener. So if you're not listening to CRN, corner for you. All right, that's it. Da 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 da. Michael, this is our segment here.
It is. So let's set this up a little bit. It was, lo and behold, 14 days ago today where Orlando brought in some delicious steak, brought 2 packages in, and he threw down the gauntlet, saying that we're going to do a competition here based on how we'd like to prepare our steak, document that preparation, and then discuss it on today's broadcast. And indeed we did. And so I guess I drew the short straw, so I'm going first.
Okay.
And so what I did, and I'm going to show you some photos here as I bring them up. There was 2 different, you brought 2 different packages, and you said pick which one you want. There was one package that had 2 large New Yorks, and another package that had equal, and they were equal weight, these 2 different packages. One was 2 large New Yorks, one was 4 New Yorks split crosswise to make them club steaks.
Okay.
And so I picked the club steaks, and to get the proper mood here, I decided to go with fajitas.
Oh.
I did. I realized at the last minute that I was running a little bit low on propane, and so I didn't want to grill because I didn't know how much propane I had left in the tank. So I decided to do fajitas, something I could do in the skillet. And so this is the first photo here. There we go, as it transitions. As you can see, I have the 4 club-style New Yorks. Delicious marbling on that, by the way. You picked some fantastic steaks here. And so I then sliced them into strips, as one can see. And the next slide here is I got my trusty cast iron skillet out. A little bit of vegetable oil, and I got some advice here from a family member. I was asked her, I mean, you know, cooking fajitas. I don't think I've ever done this before. Give me some advice, and she says, make sure to do your meat in batches. You don't want to overcrowd the pan.
Okay.
Because if you overcrowd the pan, then the moisture releases, and you actually steamed meat, and you don't get the actual char on the steak itself. And so I did it in batches, maybe about 3 or 4 batches of the meat, set that aside, and then I did the veggies in batches as well. I could have diced my peppers a little bit better, but you know.
You know what? I think I myself, I enjoyed the bigger pieces.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy like the chew, you know? Yeah.
So yeah, it's
that looks delicious, Michael.
It came out pretty good. The onions were soft and caramelized. The peppers, they still had a little bit of a crunch to it, which was kind of nice. Let's go to the next photo. And where am I? And here we are. And so here's the finished product in the skillet, which I could have maybe got a little bit more of a char, but this came out pretty well. At this point, I added some secret spice mix. And a secret spice mix. Have to take that spice mix to my grave, and you add a little bit of liquid in here too. So I had a little bit of Dos Equis. I threw in there a little bit. You know, slowly stirred in the secret spice mix and the Dos Equis. Kind of get a little steam action there too. And then last but not least, I put them in a ramekin, covered it with a Mexican cheese blend, stuck it under the broiler for a little bit, and a little guacamole on the side. Of course, I served this with pico de gallo, some flour tortillas, some salsa, and some cold, as aforementioned, Dos Equis. And so it came out pretty good. Not too shabby, if you ask me.
You know what? I have never actually seen cheese on fajitas.
Yeah.
You know,
it was my little specialty there. It's my signature for the dish.
That's the Michael signature.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's actually very clever the way you did it, because you know what, I like fajitas.
Yeah.
They're so filling and simple. I mean, not simple in the making. They do take a while to make and everything else, but it's a very uncluttered type of a thing. And you know what? I enjoy the type of dish where you can actually taste all the components. You know? Sometimes, like in barbecue and stuff like that, you taste sauces instead of actually the meats, you know? So...
And also, I mean, most fajitas, I mean, thanks to your largesse, you brought these New Yorks in, because most fajitas are used with like flank or with, you know, chuck roast or something like that. But using, you know, a little bit more pricey and well-marbled cut, you could definitely tell a difference in flavor and the texture as well. And also, I have a ton of leftovers. And the great thing about fajitas is you can incorporate them. So I had the fajitas last night, and probably tonight I'll make quesadillas with it. And then tomorrow I'll probably use it as enchilada filling. And then maybe the day after I'll use it as a torta. And so I have pretty much my whole week's meals planned out.
That's it, man. You know, just out of one skillet.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And then what, did you buy tortillas or make them?
I bought them, but they were made fresh that day.
Oh.
I live in a heavily Hispanic neighborhood, and there's a small family-owned market within walking distance of my house where they make fresh salsa, fresh guacamole, and fresh tortillas every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you make the guacamole?
I did. No. I didn't make the guacamole, but that guacamole was made fresh that day.
Okay. All right. So, you know what? I got a heavy run for my money here. I mean, that looks very good.
Don't sell yourself short. But also what I'm looking forward to too, because like I said, this is the first time I've made fajitas at home, and now I realize how easy it is and how kind of relaxing it is to do the prep work. You put like a podcast on, you just kind of relax. You have a beer or two. do some cutting, just grill them up real nicely. But also what I want to try, because one of my favorite things is fajitas, where it's not only steak, but shrimp too.
Oh, yeah.
And so my next project is to make shrimp and steak fajitas. And with the lessons I've learned, from this first go around, I think it's going to come out pretty well.
So are we going to do a rematch or what? I mean, we still have one more segment to go, but
I think we should let the listeners weigh in, and maybe they can cast their votes here. But I think this might become maybe a quarterly feature where we do some sort of challenge here. Maybe pizza we can do, maybe chicken, maybe like some sort of super stew. But this is a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it is actually. You know what? I think it's something that we're going to be doing more and more often. All right, when we come back, Orlando and his steak. Boom, 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 boom.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. 800-349-6855. That's 800-349-6855.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Alrighty, we are back, and this is Orlando's steak segment. Da, 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 da. I tried something a little bit different because my pieces of steak were a little bit bigger, and I mean they're the same actually. If I had cut them in half, it would have been the same as what you got. But I've heard so much about dry aging that I wanted to try that, and as soon as I got the steaks home, I went through the process. Took them out of the package, washed them really well, let them dry between paper towels. And
let's go. Hold on. Let's set this up. All right. Okay. Let's set this up. So here we go. This is Orlando's version of the steak challenge. Organza. So as you mentioned, you had some New Yorks, some very well marbled New Yorks that were about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches thick, and about there. Yeah. And you talked about the dry aging process. So this photograph here, is this after the dry age?
This is when I was actually starting the dry age. Yes. What it is that No, you know what? Yeah. This is when I started the dry aging, and they were already there. They had already been drying for about 4 days. Okay. The thing was that, I read about dry aging and all of that, and they said how great the meat turns out and the whole thing, and that you can actually go up to 21 days. Now, I really don't think so that you can do that by using the method that I was using, because although, the meat preserves really nice. It's just like you can, to the touch, is really nice texture, and it's dry. The only thing that I miscalculated was that maybe I should have changed the position to something less cold, because when I went to cook them, they were, I think they were drier than I was expecting, and in this situation, we were both experimenting, so up to a point, I wasn't too sure. So it's not that I cheated, but I went and I got 2 more steaks, little ones, okay? Primarily because I needed to compare. Not that I'm not going to use those in the competition, okay? I cooked them at the same time and the whole thing, but the idea was that I needed to compare one with another, okay? And I need to see, because there was so much talk about the difference in flavor and texture and that type of stuff. I don't know if these were the right steaks for it. Maybe, because I figured that if it works well, I'm going to buy a big, like a ribeye roast and dry it and then cut it in steaks, the whole thing. Anyway, make the long story short, when I cooked them, I put them in a cast iron griddle that I have, so it would get char marks and the whole thing. And it was good, actually. I used my secret seasoning too, which is not that much of a secret. It's just salt. What do you call that? Cornstarch.
Okay.
And some steak seasoning.
Cornstarch, you get a little more crust with the cornstarch, correct?
Yes. The whole idea was that I wanted for the oil not to actually touch the steak that much. The cornstarch is supposed to build like a little crust.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that I had to really be careful is the fact that normally you have to have a hot skillet. Well, when the steaks are so dry, they don't need to be that hot. And I made a mistake in that, because my steaks came out very flavorful. The texture was good.
Let's go to the next photo. Why don't you describe this photo here?
That is just already dry. This is prior to the cooking part.
Okay. This is right before you put them on the fire.
That's before I put them in the skillet. And I had already trimmed some of the fat. You see it on the left there. Uh-huh. Well, people are not, if you're in the radio, I trimmed fat and I kept it there because I wanted to add it to the cooking part, so it'll add that little grease flavor, Yeah. It turns out to be that the fat cooked really, really nice. It was very flavorful. The steaks were nice and dry, but I think they would have been a little bit more moist if I had cooked them just a tiny little bit slower. Maybe I put a little bit too much fire. They were good, but they were not even.
Okay? Interesting.
They were not even. So there's a photograph of the finished product there.
Yeah, we'll get to that right after the break.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
All right, stay on.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Today, it seems so hard to enjoy just a little bit of easy. So much of life seems to get in the way. But fear not, seekers of fabulous food and fun and thrill. Columbo's is Southern California's answer to Easy Street. Great grub with some of the finest steaks, the freshest fish awaiting for you to devour. Did I mention Columbo's family Italian recipes? Columbo's spaghetti bolognese, their chicken pesto ravioli, magnifico, and of course, the world's greatest meatballs. I can go on. But why go on when you can go on over to Columbo's and experience delicious and easy for yourself? Columbo's, of course, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
Have you heard about Vine to Bar chocolate? It's the winemaker's chocolate, the world's first chocolate made with well-vined Chardonnay marc from the beautiful coastal vineyards of North America. Gently pressed grapes are harvested after juicing, dried and finely milled and carefully blended into the finest dark chocolate. The Chardonnay marc contains highly beneficial grape nutrients, flavanols, and has a natural sweetness that flavors the luscious dark chocolate. Mouth-watering, flavorful, delectable dark chocolate goodness with Chardonnay sweetness and beneficial nutrients. And it's alcohol-free, too. It's Vine to Bar chocolate. Order some today at vinetobar.com. That's VINETOBAR.com. Cold shipped to your door, it's Vine to Bar. Vine to Bar chocolate. Visit us at vinetobar.com.
We are back. So now, to conclude the challenge there. Anyway, I served mine in a very traditional steaky type of way. I sliced the meat, and I have to confess that although I sliced the two sets of steaks, I'm only judging the part where it was the original two steaks, okay? And I set it up with traditional. Unfortunately, if you see the photograph, you cannot see the mushrooms from the steak, but there was mushrooms and baked potato and a salad, you know, and it was a pretty cool thing. Like I said, I found that the steaks that had not been aged for that long were more moisture, more flavorful, softer. So I cannot say that I hated the ones that were aged for a lot longer.
How was the tenderness, though? Because aging, dry aging especially, it's supposed to let, you know, good microbes into the meat, in between the connective tissue of the meat to actually tenderize the meat. So how is the...
I didn't find that. And what I was saying was that I think that maybe I left them in the cold too long.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were at the bottom of the refrigerator where the temperature's a little bit, you know, more mild. I don't think that if I had left it there 21 days, these things would have been edible.
Because a lot of restaurants you go to, well, they'll advertise that we dry age our steaks for 40 days.
Yeah, I know. And I've actually seen where, because I had a friend of mine who owned a steak house near the airport, and he had a room, but it was not that cold.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's almost like maybe just a little bit. It's like 65 degrees almost in there. It's not even a refrigerator sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, these things are like, I think if it had been milder, would have been a little bit better. Like I say, the taste was okay. In the majority of the steaks, it was overcooked because it was like too dry. So, to make the long story short.
Well, I'm seeing, like the top one here, like if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube after the fact, I mean, there's still some pink at the top ones.
Yeah, I mean, no, some of them were like that, but not enough to, let's say, if I had a party of 4, that everybody could have enjoyed the meal. So, with that in mind.
Did you serve this for your lovely wife and daughter and her husband? And did you get some good reviews from the family?
Some liked it, some didn't.
Yeah.
Some felt that the taste was okay, but it was hard. It was yeah. So I'll give you the competition, Michael. You got bragging rights because you know what? In your competition, you could have fed a lot more people and would have enjoyed it. Mine was limited to salad, potato, and wherever they could pick little pieces of meat.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like a baked potato with steak. I mean, you definitely got the accoutrements right there, especially the mushrooms as well.
Yeah, the mushrooms came out really, really nice, the whole thing. But like I said, I didn't think that my steak was running around the block with the winner's circle worthy. So you got it. Thank you. You were...
Well, thank you very much, Orlando. I appreciate it.
There's going to be some prizes. There's going to be some giveaways based on the competition here. There's going to be 4 questions asked on the website. And if you answer the questions, you're going to get a beautiful set of 6 steak knives and something else. There's a surprise gift that goes along with it. And with that in mind, go to the website, www.lifestylebuzz.today, and enter the competition. See you next week. Bye-bye.